Make it 6 in a row against Chicago. Let's take a look right now at Ozzie Guillen's starting lineup tonight. For the White Sox, Juan Pierre and AT Pierzynski at the top. Then Alex Rios and Paul Konerko. Mark Kotsay batting 5th. Andrew Jones hit 6th. Mark Teahan. Omar Vizquel batting 8th. And Gordon Beckham will hit 9th.
Tonight's starting pitcher brought to you by the Indians Team Shop. It's where you'll get 2 free tickets when you spend $50. Justin Masterson making his 9th start of the year. He is 0-4, .565 earned run average. This will be his first start this year. He started April 8th against the White Sox in U.S. Cellular Field, a 5-inning, 11-inning win over the Sox and J.J. Putz, where he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. In his career, he is 0-1 and a 159. He's pitched really well, and he's been able to neutralize the right-handed bats of the White Sox. He'll have to do that tonight with the likes of Rios, Konerko, and Jones. Let's check out the Home Depot defensive lineup. In the outfield, it's going to be Kearns, Crow, and Chu. On the infield, Peralta, Donald, Grizzolonic, and Branyan. Behind the plate, Lou Marson. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
Angel Hernandez calling the balls and strikes tonight. Paul Schreiber at first, Rob Drake at second, and the crew chief, Cowboy Joe West, down at third. Juan Pierre climbs in, ready to get us underway tonight. And Masterson fires a first pitch strike. 81 degrees, our game time temperature here tonight at Progressive Field. And Pierre lashes it right back up the middle.
Well, this is the guy, Pierre's hitting .262, but when he gets on, he makes the most of it. A fastball out over the plate that comes right back over the head of Masterson. It's throw it and duck right there. Pierre, 18 stolen bases on the year, has been caught 4 times. So he has the bulk of the 48 stolen bases. 47 of the White Sox. They are rated 2nd in the league.
Here is AT Pierzynski. Once again, as always, found himself in the middle of some mild controversy yesterday in their finale against the Florida Marlins. As Pierre takes off, Pierzynski lines it into right field. Pierre will hit second and easily make it to third. White Sox at the corners with nobody out here in the first inning.
Well, off and running, but Pierzynski pulls the trigger because he likes the pitch, and he laces it into right field. Pierre didn't really pick it up because his head was down trying to steal a base, but by the time he gets to second, he peeks and sees it's going to right field. Another high sinker there by Masterson. And look at Pierre. He slows down, but then picks it up. It's in right field. Easily gets to third base. So the White Sox with a good start.
And now Alex Rios spins out of the way. Yesterday, in the White Sox lost to the Marlins, they got beat 13-0 in the game. But before that game was over, AT Pierzynski was hit by a pitch from Marlins reliever Dan Meyer. And that came after Marlins right fielder Brett Carroll, who had been hit by a pitch earlier in the game, stole second base. And the White Sox felt in a retaliatory move because the Marlins were already up 7-0. Freddie Gonzalez, the Marlins manager, said afterwards that Carroll had missed a sign and stole the base on his own, and agreed that that's not really what they wanted to do in that situation because it did look bad. And the White Sox, of course, were upset. But
well, you take care of it yourself. If the player, they look bad, then it's their job to take care of it, although they won't play him again.
Jason Donald fields it, goes to second. They get the force there. White Sox grab the lead as Pierre scores. Alex Rios picks up his 22nd run batted in. Jason Donald able to get to that ball.
Well, he just tops it, hits the top half of the ball. Goes the weak grounder to Donald. They get the lead runner, but a run comes in to score.
Paul Konerko with a runner at first and one out. Konerko is having a good year, batting .270, 14 home runs, 31 runs batted in. He just keeps rolling along.
Well, he does. And I mean, he's up at the end of the year, and he always seems to hit the Indians very good.
Swung on a miss. Throw down to second base, not in time. And Alex Rios has his 14th stolen base on the year.
Well, they're not going to waste any time. They are going to take off. Runners 4 for 5 in stolen bases off Masterson. So he steals it easily. Not much that Marson could do here. You could see the jump. He's well on his way into second base.
And that's way outside. A ball and 2 strikes. The count on Paul Konerko.
Konerko this year with 3 homers and 6 ribbies out of his 5 hits. He is hitting .250. But had a terrific month of May, hitting 11 home runs, setting a club record for April.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And, of course, with Justin Masterson on the hill, Ozzie Guillen deciding to sit Carlos Quentin, who's been swinging the bat much better of late. White Sox with a runner at second here in the first and a run already in. 1 down with Paul Konerko in a 2-2 count. Bounce to third. Peralta looks the runner back and makes a good throw. 2 down. Tonight's injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Friedman, Damiano, and Smith. When you're injured, depend on them. Find Friedman, Damiano, and Smith online at fdslaw.com.
Well, that's what you like to see under the Chicago White Sox. None. That means you're healthy. You've got everybody. You are at full strength.
Well, the White Sox survived a scare with Matt Thornton, their tremendous left-handed reliever. He had soreness in that left elbow, and anytime a pitcher says his elbow's sore, all the antennas go up, and then they certainly held their collective breath. But Thornton basically got some rest, and they looked at it. There was nothing structurally wrong, and Thornton felt fine yesterday. Said he thinks it was just a fluke deal. Needed a few days to rest, and he should be fine. Two down and an 0-2 count here on Mark Kotsay. 1-2 the count. White Sox scoring first here in the top half. And a runner in scoring position with 2 down for Kotsay. Kotsay, in 82 at-bats so far this year, has 7 runs batted in.
Well, this guy is having a disappointing start of the season for the White Sox. If you're going to DH, and they try and get Konerko some time off and different guys DH time, in the American League, and that's one thing that's gone downhill, are DHs, productions. Mm-hmm. When you look at the numbers, they used to be sick. I mean, they'd be heavy duty, home runs and RBIs. They'd hit for a high average. It's not like that anymore. DHs, I think some managers would just rather have a guy that can go out there and play so you can rotate 3 or 4 guys.
From 0-2 to 3-2. And this next pitch will be the 20th of the inning here for Justin Masterson as Andrew Jones waits in the on-deck circle. And the payoff. Sliced down the left field line, and it's a fair ball. Coming home to score is Rios. Mark Kotze lumbering into second base just does beat the throw with a 2-out RBI double, and it's 2-0 Chicago.
Well, I had him down in the count, and then Kotze worked his way back into it to a full count. You had first base open. Not that you want to walk him, but I want to see where the pitch is. All the hits off the left-handers, Brzezinski, Pierre, and now Kotze, are the same pitch. Sinkers away that were up. They didn't have good movement on them. They were flat sinkers, and they took advantage of every one of the pitches. Those are the 3 hits in the inning. Kotze, his first extra base hit, or let's say his first double this year.
Yeah, he has 4 home runs, but that was his first double. Does not have a triple. Now Andrew Jones.
Well, and for Justin, also, he struggles in that first inning. His ERA is 6.75, a lot like David Huff was early. They give it up early, and the next thing you know, they're battling to just, keep their team there.
So Masterson already on the short end of the scoreboard. And the 2-0 coming to Jones, and it's 3-0. Masterson delivers. Jones taking all the way. Right down Broadway, full count. This will be pitch number 25 or 26 now for Masterson. And the payoff is fouled back by Jones.
This is the guy that's creeping up on home run number 400. Just a couple away. And I think Justin just got away with one there. Fastball.
Couple of foul balls. Jones staying alive here. Jones with a runner at second and 2 down here in the first. And the payoff pitch is ball 4. 2 on, 2 out. And left-handed hitting Mark Teahan will be up next.
Well, let's look at the location to the left-handers this inning. To the first hitter, Juan Pierre, fastball mid-thigh, out over the plate. Then you get Brzezinski. After the runner's running, out, up over the plate. And then here you see a 3-2 pitch. They're all the same. They're all flat, they're all upstairs, and they're very hittable pitches for left-handers, and that's who wears Justin out, are the left-handers. He has got to find a way to hit that sinker down at the knees.
So Tim Belcher heads back to the Indians' dugout. And a long first inning for Justin Masterson is going to get longer. Mark Teahan batting just .231 on the year coming into tonight's action. Mark Teahan playing third base for Chicago. You remember a couple of years ago with Kansas City, they tried to make him a second baseman.
And outfielder, right. They moved him around.
In his first game that spring training as a second baseman, he made 2 errors in his first game. He said afterwards, no point in peaking in the first game of the spring.
Right. Then they expect you to play great defense. Well, it's a total change when you go from one side of the diamond to the other, and you're going from a corner position to the middle of the infield. There's a lot more action.
Two on, two out, 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike, and Masterson.
He's really struggling. When you look at the pitches by batter, he started out the first 2 hitters had 2 pitches. Third hitter had 4. Then it started to go up. The 4th hitter had 5. The 5th had 7. And now the last hitter, Andrew Jones, had 8. And that all adds up to a 31-pitch inning.
Two nothing White Sox. They've got 2 on, 2 out. 2-1 to Tien. Back out of play, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cincinnati Reds starter Homer Bailey, who left yesterday's game with tightness in his shoulder in the 4th inning, was put on the disabled list today for the Reds with a sore shoulder. So the Reds will be without one of their mainstays in that rotation. They've been very healthy in their starting rotation to this point in the year. Fouled away. Count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 just missed full count. So the runners will get a head start on this 3-2 pitch.
It's that fastball on the inside part of the plate. Had a little comeback to it, but Angel Hernandez felt it was a little bit inside.
Runners go. Payoff pitch. Clobbered to left center field. That's going to split him and go to the wall. Kotze scores. Andrew Jones will come home too. A 2-out, 2-run double from Mark Tien, and it's a 4-run White Sox first inning.
Well, they haven't even been able to settle in the White Sox, who have been struggling to score. There's another left-hander, and let's look at the location. And we showed you the first 3 hits. 3-2 pitch, bingo, out over the plate, up, elevated. And the left-handers have really done damage to Justin Masterson. Another double, and it's a 4-0 White Sox lead.
Omar Vizquel, getting a start tonight, takes a strike. Almost hit him, goes off the glove to the backstop, and Tien goes down to third.
This one gets away from him. Marson gets a leather on it just off the end of the glove, goes to the backstop. It'll be scored a wild pitch. Boy, and this is certainly not the way that Justin Masterson wanted to start out. Coming off a win, and you want to get that momentum. You like to have a quick inning, and this has been anything but.
The 1-1 pitch to Vizquel. 2 balls and a strike.
I mean, you have to start thinking about this point in time, and I know that they want him to start and they want him to do things like this, but I'll tell you what, he does, to me, doesn't look like a starting pitcher right now, and has struggled. A lot of base runners per inning.
Now this will be pitch number 40 of this first inning. And he stays alive. Marson couldn't come up with it. Of those 40 pitches, 23 strikes. But when he has missed with his location in the strike zone, they have jumped on him.
Well, left-handers, every pitch he's throwing to him are up and out over the plate.
Omar banged that off of his leg.
You know, here's a big guy that, you know, if he gets on top of the baseball and can get some downward, even though he comes out of the side, he's got to find an arm slot where that ball really moves.
The right-hander's 2-2 pitch is outside, full count. The payoff pitch to Vizquel. Ripped foul past Harold Baines, the first base coach. For pitchers, it can be a lonely feeling when you're out there on the bump. When you have an inning like this, you must feel like you're out there all by yourself.
You know, well, sure you are. I mean, you can't throw anything. The only thing he's throwing is fastballs that he can throw for a strike right now, and he's throwing them right down the middle.
High fly ball, deep to right, Chu back, and he'll pull it down in the middle of the warning track. The White Sox strike for 4. They leave one stranded. Indians coming to bat. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, Tribe starting lineup presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Trevor Crowe, Shin-Soo Choo, and Austin Kearns. Branyan batting in the cleanup spot tonight. Then it's Peralta and Grudzelanek, followed by Matt Laporta, Lou Marson, and Jason Donald.
Well, John Danks on the mound, but I'll tell you what, this guy's got to be thrilled to death. He's one guy that the White Sox haven't been scoring for. He's been pitching very well. Second best ERA in the league. Well, you know what? You go out to toe the rubber for the first time, you've got a 4-0 lead.
Trevor Crowe with a liner to second, caught by Gordon Beckham, one down.
Let's look at the numbers from John Danks. He's just 500, 3-3, but look at the ERA, 2.26. Opposition just hitting 2.14. He's really, he buries right-handed hitters. Righties are hitting just 183 off him. 45 strikeouts in his 55 2/3 innings. And this is one of the better left-handers in the league.
Shin-Soo Choo. That 2 spot is treating him just fine. Called strike outside corner, 1-2 the count. I mean, John Danks, as Rick told you, it's not his fault that he's 3-3. I mean, when he's allowed 3 runs or less in all 8 of his starts this year.
Well, and he's averaging over 7 innings a start. I mean, the guy, his shortest start has been 5 innings and then 6, and then it's at least 7.
Nice feed, and Danks just does beat Chu to the bag.
Well, you talk about just timing it just right. Let's check out the White Sox defense. They are rated 4th in the league. They have made 25 errors. In the outfield from left to right, it's Pierre, Rios, and Jones. On the infield, Tian at third, Vizquel at short, his 3rd start there this year. Beckham at second, Konerko at first. Behind the plate, A.J. Pierzynski, and the left-hander on the mound, John Danks.
Austin Kern steps in, looks at a ball inside.
John Danks, a guy that came from the Texas Rangers organization to the White Sox for Brandon McCarthy. Also came with Nick Massett. And I would think the White Sox certainly got the best of this one because McCarthy's still with the Rangers, but, you know, he's been hurt. He never really pitched a full year.
Well, he's always been kind of a guy. Nobody seems to know what his best role is. Is he a starter? Is he a bullpen guy? You know?
Well, you know, they've got some good young pitchers over there in Texas now, so he's falling out of favor.
3 balls, 2 strikes, the count here on Austin Kearns with the bases empty and 2 down. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed. Indians go 1-2-3. It's 4-0 Chicago after an inning.
And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers.
Well, it was a gorgeous day here in downtown Cleveland, so we've got that going for us.
It's going to be a gorgeous week.
Chicago out to the early lead. Gordon Beckham struggling at the plate, but he bounces one through the right side. And the White Sox have their 5th hit of the night. Leadoff man aboard here in the 2nd.
Yeah, that to me, I don't know if his arm angle is where it should be because everything is mid-thigh. There's nothing down at the knees.
Beckham, who has been in a prolonged slump, but Ozzie Guillen said he has had no thoughts of sending Beckham back to the minor leagues.
Oh, this kid can play.
In fact, Guillen was quoted as saying he's fine right here. The only way you're going to come out of this is by playing. The only thing I worry about with him is if he hits the ball hard and doesn't have the results, how will he overcome the mental part of that? But he said, hey, that's my job to keep his confidence up.
Well, yeah, to me, there's nothing he's going to learn down in the minor leagues that he can't learn here.
Chu runs down the long fly ball off the bat of Juan Pierre in the right field corner for out number 1. Time now for the AT&T trivia question. AT&T Rethink Possible. Name the 4 players who have 10 or more gold gloves and 300 or more stolen bases. A.J. Pierzynski, base hit his first time up. Swung on and missed. Pierzynski is a career .286 hitter. So maybe it's just one of those years that he's struggling offensively here almost to the end of May. I guess you also wondered about the wear and tear and the miles. Are they catching up to him? A guy that catches a lot of games every single year. You saw Aaron Laffey warming in the Tribe bullpen.
You know what? It's got to catch up to you. It really does. This guy hasn't even been on the disabled list. I mean, that's how durable he's been. He's been an everyday guy, and that's not an easy thing. That does take a toll on your body.
Bouncer foul.
You know, normally he got off to a good start last year offensively and ended up hitting 300 and played good all year long. But this year, the batting average struggling. But I'll tell you what he does do. I mean, when he's still out there with the game on the line, I don't care what he's hitting, he'll be ready.
Runner goes, and Pierzynski fouls it out of play. Well, it's interesting, you talk about the batting average, and it's something that you are a proponent of in calling batting average somewhat overrated.
Somewhat, yes.
Interesting in that the ESPN, the magazine, did a survey of Major League players, large sampling, and one of the questions they asked was, what's the most overrated statistic in baseball? Pierzynski lines it up the middle for a base hit.
And what happened?
Beckham stops at second. Batting average, number 1. Was the among the players polled.
All right.
They said batting average was the most overrated.
It is. You know what? Give me a guy that gets hits when it counts. With the game on the line and runners on base. And look at Pierzynski right back again. Shoots it past Masterson.
One anonymous player who's an outfielder said, who cares if you get a bunch of singles and end up hitting 320?
Right.
The most underrated stat was on base percentage, according to the players.
Yeah. Well, you can hit 230, 240, and still have a 400 on base percentage. You better walk a lot.
Trevor Crowe backpedaling, tagging at second and going to third is Gordon Beckham, 2 down.
Tell you, today, too, with Masterson, he's normally a swing and miss guy. These guys aren't missing. So that tells me he's not locating. He's having one of those days. He doesn't have a strikeout yet.
And as you said, there haven't been many swings and misses.
No, they're on the ball. They're hitting everything hard.
2 swings and misses. Tom Boschenik brought his A game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Before I asked him the question, he flashed me the peace sign. 2.
Because he's counting. He's got his socks off and he's counting his toes, but you may not need it tonight, Tommy.
2 on, 2 out for Paul Konerko, who grounded to third his first time up. And also, interesting to note that the 4 runs allowed in the first inning, the most by the Indians this year. Or was that Masterson? Most runs allowed by the Indians in the first inning this year? Swung on and missed, 1-1 the count. I mean, they've been playing from behind a lot this year. But they haven't given up
2 spots
a big
been,
first inning.
No, but 2 spots have usually been the one.
Meanwhile, Justin Masterson, 56 pitches. Missed inside. Aaron Laffey looks like he's ready when needed in the bullpen. And with 2 down, Masterson has a chance to get out of the inning if he can retire Konerko, but he had 2 outs in the first inning and gave up 2 more hits and a walk before he got out of that inning. 2-2.
One of the few sliders he's thrown for a strike.
Gordon Beckham, the runner at third, with A.J. Pierzynski at first. And the 2-2 to Konerko. Again, he tries Peralta. Johnny goes the short way to end the inning. 2 hits, 2 men left aboard. Bottom of the second coming up, 4-0 Chicago. Bottom of the second inning. Russell Brandon, Johnny Peralta, and Mark Grudzalonic. And John Danks goes at Brandon with a first pitch strike. One on one the count. Ozzie Guillen, the White Sox manager, says that the way his team has played so far this year, it's left him with an empty feeling. He said he's even asked his own coaches on his staff, are we really this bad? He said a couple of guys said yes, and then they were laughing. But he said a couple of guys said no.
Well, with one thing about Ozzie, you're going to know. He says what he feels. I mean, he's a very emotional guy.
What he's trying to figure out, Rick, is are the White Sox, you know, for his words, are we this bad, or are we just not winning games right now?
You know, it's a long year, and you played bad for the first quarter of the season. I mean, there's certainly time to turn it around. They have the starting pitchers to do that. But it's a combination of things, and I mean, it's always up to the players. They feel, I mean, when they go to spring training like everybody else, that they have a chance.
Well, and you know, his point too, Rick, was you look at the standings, and he said, hey, as good as Minnesota's playing, we should be more than 7.5 games back. Now, maybe that's Ozzie's way of, well, kind of motivating his team with a little subtle jab.
Here's one of the White Sox. They're 7-12 on the road this year, so they don't play very well. But in the Central Division, they have the worst record. They're 7-11. And in this division, and almost every division, if you don't play well in your division, you're going to get beat. And the Twins always play well in the division. They're 15-8, and Detroit's just 9-9. As a matter of fact, the Indians just 10-12. But the White Sox have the worst record, so they're going to have to really beat up the teams that they got to make ground up on, and that's in their division.
Well, that's a big reason why the White Sox, out of their 14 series that they've played, they've only won 3. Popped back out of play. And everybody's quick to point with Chicago. They're quick to point at the offense. But Guillen says, hey, look at our pitchers. Burley has struggled. Jake Peavy has had his moments. Gavin Floyd has struggled.
Well, and that was their strength, is their pitching, their starters, and the bullpen. And if you get solid pitching all year, you're going to be in every game if you're not scoring a whole lot. But and they haven't scored a whole lot. They're just like the Indians. 3 or less runs 20 times they have scored. They're 1-19. The Indians are 2-20 when they've scored 3 or less.
Well, that's 3 straight strikeouts now for John Danks. 2 down here in the second inning. And it will bring up Mark Grudzielanek. Two balls, no strikes. Grudzielanek batting a very respectable .264. All his hits have been singles. So this kind of goes back to, what we were talking about a moment ago with that players survey about batting average and run production, basically, is what it comes down to.
Right.
I guess the counter argument to that is somebody's got to get on base. There's a line drive signal for Grudzielanek. I mean, if I was Mark Grudzielanek and I was going to take the other side of that argument, I'd say, hey, at least I'm getting on base for you big lugs to drive me in.
He's been around long enough. He knows. He's on his last leg when it comes to baseball. He knows I got to put the ball in play, try and make something happen, get on base. He was always like that as a hitter, good defender, and, just try and get on base and make something happen. Well, he gets a 2-out single, and that's the first hit for the Indians tonight.
And it brings up Matt Laporta, who's in the DH role. And John Danks gets ahead quickly with the first pitch strike.
Nice little cutter on the inside part of the plate to the right-handers. That's a pitch he was able to get in on Austin Kearns and strike him out. And that's what makes that cutter, watch, going into the right-handers, down and in. It almost like the bottom falls out. It ends up for a ball. He's got a good curve ball, and he locates his fastball very well.
The 0-2.
That's why the right-handers are hitting a $183 off him coming into today's game. Change up.
Got him.
See ya.
4 strikeouts for Danks. He strikes out 3 here in the second inning. Justin Masterson, his 60th pitch of the night. He is down low to Kotze for ball one. Kotze an RBI double in the first. Bouncer to first. Branyan. Nice little flip, one down. Let's have a look at our Subway fresh face of the game. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. Alex White made his Akron Arrows debut yesterday in a 5-2 win against Harrisburg. He went 7 innings and only allowed 2 runs to get the W. Nice job by the Indians. Top pick out of North Carolina. Andrew Jones walked and scored in the first. Just foul down the left field line. Pitch is up again.
Yeah, he loved it, boy. You can see the swings they're putting on it. They're not missing many, boy. They are getting after it. You know, for a big guy, there's times where we've seen Masterson pitch where they don't have very good swings off him, and the many swings and misses. You know, when he goes out, he's averaging over 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. He doesn't have one tonight, so he's not the same guy.
High drive, left field. Back is Crow, the center fielder, in the middle of the warning track, and that is out number 2. Let's go back to the studios for an in-game update. Here's Al Pawlowski with the latest from the Trop, the Rays hosting the Red Sox.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Rick. Yeah, let's go down to Florida where the Red Sox are trying to catch the first-place Rays. Going to take them a while to do that, but David Ortiz gets a home run here to put the Red Sox ahead 1-0. That's been the only score thus far. They're in the second inning in St. Pete. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Al.
Well, speaking of St. Pete, the White Sox will head down there after the ball game on Wednesday here for a 4-game series.
One ball and 1 strike. Down low, 2 balls and a strike. Reiner just past Jason Donald, who gave it a diving effort. And Mark Teahan is 2 for 2 already here tonight.
Six out of the 7 hits have been off the bats of left-handers. Now that pitch is down and away. Give Teahan credit right there. He had a pretty good pitch. But he stayed on it, boy. I mean, because Masterson hasn't proven he could come in there for strikes to left-handers, so they're just looking out over the plate. And they will wear you out if you can prove you don't prove you can go inside. Another wild pitch. Trying to come in. He really has no command tonight. His other wild pitch was when I think Vizquel was up at the plate.
There's similar location.
Down and away, got lost it inside. If he can't prove to get lefties inside, which he hasn't done tonight, they will wear you out looking for that ball middle of the plate away. And just stay on the ball. Don't try and pull it.
Missed in off the plate. 2-0. Omar bidding for another long ball. He tried to hit one out of here his first time up.
Yeah, we've seen a number of balls going out to the track today. Active ranks with games played, sacrifice bunts, stolen bases, and 2,700 hits. He will not get to that 3,000 mark, but I'll tell you what, it's some kind of career for this guy. Just a treat to watch him play every day, day in and day out. I will never see another shortstop as good as Omar Vizquel, I don't think, as far as hands go. He was amazing.
And he's trying to drive one deep over the head of Chu. Back goes the right fielder, dives, makes the catch on the front edge of the warning track and hangs on. So twice tonight, Omar trying to go big fly. He comes up short, and the inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It's still 4-0 Chicago. Lou Marson leading off the bottom of the third here for Cleveland. He'll be followed by Jason Donald and Trevor Crowe. Up the middle, and it's through. And Lou Marson has a leadoff single here in inning number 3. Second hit tonight for the Tribe. And we'll see if they can take advantage of getting the leadoff man aboard.
Well, watch Danks. This ball by him. He put a glove up, couldn't get it. A lot of times those pitchers, the ball either comes harder or softer than what they think it is. You know, originally you think it's going to be a bullet, and it's always coming quicker. But Marson finally gets a base hit up the middle. Got it by the pitcher. Second hit for the Indians.
You know my favorite part of that play? And we've all done this. If you've ever played baseball or you know, football for that matter, anytime you don't catch a ball that you think you should, the first thing you do is you look at your hands or look at your glove.
What happened there? Yeah, why didn't you catch it?
You look at it in disbelief, like, how did you let me down?
Well, what are you supposed to do? Uh-oh.
Donald hammers the ball deep to left field. Back goes Pierre. He's out of room. It's off the top of the fence. Into third goes Marson. He's going to stop right there. A double high off the fence for Jason Donald. And Indians at second and third with nobody out here in inning number 3.
You know, he got into that ball. That's the best he's hit up here in his short stint so far. He put a charge into it. Let's see. It looks like a Danks fastball. It is. 92 miles per hour, elevated a little bit. And Jason Donald turns on it, goes off the wall. All the way back goes Pierre. He doesn't get there. Marson's going to have to hold at third, but a good start to this inning. Second and third, nobody out.
Trevor Crowe had squared around. Crowe lined out to the second baseman, Beckham, his first time up.
What you want to do here, if you put a ball in play, hit a ground ball to the right side. He's squaring around to bunt for whatever reason. I don't know. You've got to drive them in right here. You're down 4 runs.
Well, if he was going to try to push bunt it to the right side, fine. But that looked like a good pitch to do it on, and he pulled it back.
No, he's going to throw you the cutter in and try and get you out and try and get you to pull it. He's going to force you to. If you're going to go to the right side, he's going to make you earn it that way. I don't think he's going to give you a little swinging room. I think that pitch right there, that last little changeup, will set up this cutter in.
Back to the mound, nothing doing. Danks will turn and throw out Crowe, 1 down. Hey, Bruce Drennan is taking his show on the road. All bets are off. We'll be live from Columbus this Thursday at the Frog, Bear, and Wild Boar, located in the Arena District across from Nationwide Arena. See Bruce out on the patio there, 3 to 6. And then at 6:30, we'll bring the Columbus Clippers and Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs game to you live right here on Sports Time Ohio. Pitch inside to Chu for ball 1. Lou Marson, who started the inning with a single up the middle. Jason Donald, who doubled off the wall and left. 1 down, Shin-Soo Choo, who's been a one-man wrecking crew in that 2-hole for the Tribe. A chance to cut the lead in half with a base hit. Fouled out of play, 1-2 the count. Shin-Soo Choo, according to our friends at Stats Inc., one of just 3 players who leads his team in both homers and runs batted in. And of the 3, he's the only one who leads his team outright in both categories. Shin-Soo Choo has that feat for the Tribe. Andrew McCutchen in Pittsburgh and Jason Hayward, the incredible rookie down in Atlanta. Swung on and missed.
He came back with a changeup to the left-hander. Good pitch. So the pitch that has saved him in this inning and gotten him out of it has been the changeup. You know, a lot of times the left-hander's looking for the breaking ball away. Watch this. He throws a good changeup and chews way out front, thinking it's going to be the 4-seam fastball at 92. You can see him hold it deep in his hands. Goes in and gets the strikeout, and he has a chance to get out of this.
Austin Kearns pops it in the air right field. And Andrew Jones will make the grab. Indians had a good start to the inning, but it fizzles fast. And through 3, it's 4-0 Chicago. Beckham fouls it out of play to the right. Nothing and 2 the count. Two-strike delivery, and Beckham fouls it away again. Rick, if you're a young player and you're going through the kind of slump that Beckham is going through, and yet your manager comes out and says, hey, he doesn't need to go back to the minor leagues. He just needs to keep working at it and playing every day. Does that do anything for you, or is that just all?
He knows. I think Beckham, he came up last year and he played very well. He doesn't need his manager's, confidence. He knows. He's just got to go out and figure it out.
Well, he's figuring it out tonight, 2 for 2. One single to left, one single to right.
Your teammates are going to help you. It's just a matter. All young kids are going to struggle. It's his second year. You know what? He'll get to that point now where he moved up. He was hitting second in the lineup the first time we faced him this year, and he was up there because that's one thing he can do is go the other way. Sometimes it's easy to forget what you know how to do best, and it takes a while to get it back.
Juan Pierre singled right up the middle to start the game and came around to score the first run for Chicago. And then in the second inning, he almost hit a ball out of here deep in the right field corner.
For Beckham's situation, he's playing a brand new position this year. He played a new one last year at third base. Now it's second base. And, you got to look at this.
Juan Pierre slaps it the other way. He's 2 for 3. And 2 straight singles to start the fourth.
Well, the only hits off a right-hander has been Beckham. He's got 2 of the hits, but out of the 7 more, Pierre's got a couple of hits. Pierzynski's got a couple. Tien's got a couple. So the lefties doing what they normally do to Justin Masterson, and that's hit them all around the ballpark.
A.J. Pierzynski, 2 for 2, steps to the plate. And he bunts it back to the mound. Masterson says thank you. Throws him out.
Well, just move the runners up and try and add to the 4-0 lead. Not a bad idea in the middle part of the ball game. You're moving them over for Rios and Konerko.
Even with a guy who's struggling the way Masterson is?
Absolutely. You know what? You've got a 4-run lead. Why roll over on one and hit into a double play and let them escape? If you can add 1, possibly 2 more, you can knock them. You can just take the Indians right out of the ball game.
They'll intentionally pass Rios.
And now you look for a double play against Konerko.
Give us a chance to remind you the scoreboard update brought to you by Wendy's. You know when it's real, it's Wendy's.
They see, okay, this could be the big turning point of the game. The Indians just had second and third and nobody out, and they didn't score. Now these guys come right back and already with a 4-0 lead. If they can put 1 or 2 more on the board, they pretty much just lock it up.
And it will be Paul Konerko at the plate. Aaron Laffey once again up in the Indians' bullpen. Shouldn't take him long to get ready.
Well, this is going to be it. Masterson's either going to seal his fate here. He's either going to get out of it, or if he gives up anything else, he'll be out of the ball game.
So Paul Konerko 0 for 2 already tonight. Both times he has hit the ball to Johnny Peralta at third base.
And that's what they're banking on right here. He'll do it one more time, and they can turn that double play.
He'd have to hit about a 25 hopper to third to beat it out. Anything else, Paul Konerko, he just doesn't run well.
No, but he can. Don't make
That's
a mistake.
True. Yeah,
he doesn't have to run well where he hits them a lot of the times.
You're right. That was assuming quite a bit. And a first pitch strike.
This guy's paid to hit him out of the ballpark and drive in runs, and he's the best at it on their ball club. Leading the league with Bautista for home runs.
Way outside, off the glove, and a run will score.
He doesn't even have to hit the ball to get a run in.
Beckham comes home on the third wild pitch of the night for Justin Masterson.
This has really been an ugly game. I mean, I don't know what else to say. He's got no idea where the ball is going. Throwing into the left-handers. This one was away to Konerko as a slider. No clue. Gives him another run. Now the infield has to come in, and it's just a matter of time before Masterson hits the showers.
The 1-1 pitch. And now he's got Konerko down on the count of ball and 2 strikes. 90 pitches for Masterson here in the 4th inning. 5-0. White Sox lead it. Bouncer to third. Peralta will come home. Marson will run Pierre back and tag him out.
Well, that's what he needed before the wild pitch, that ground ball. For the 3rd straight time, he's able to get Konerko to ground out to third base. And Johnny coming home to cut it off because they went on contact, and that's it. 1 throw, make the tag, get the out.
Mark Kotze doubled in a run and scored in the 1st. Two on, 2 out. And the 1-0 pitch misses down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Masterson delivers the 2-0, and it's ball 3. And he's about to load the bases here with Andrew Jones waiting on deck. On the 3-0 pitch, a weak ground ball to second, and the inning is over. White Sox get another run. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th, 5-0 Chicago. The Tribe. Indians down 5-0. Indians have 3 hits. And
well, they missed
that
a big opportunity
in the 3rd is
right.
looming large.
Well, when you're down early and you give up 4, I mean, you have to take every opportunity against a guy like John Danks, whose ERA is second in the league. He's not going to give up many runs, so every opportunity you get, you have to take advantage of. Not only did they not take advantage of that opportunity, but they let him put another one on the board in the 4th inning, and they gave it to him. So they're making it very easy for Chicago.
Russell Brandon with a line drive single to right. And for the 2nd inning in a row, the Indians get their leadoff man aboard. Let's take a look at yesterday's great clip of the game, brought to you by Great Clips. Johnny Peralta drove in the go-ahead run, proved to be the winner for the Indians. Relax, you're at Great Clips. That hit for Peralta came off Daniel Ray Herrera, who had that incredible screwball. And he threw it to Peralta early in the count, and Johnny was way out in front of it.
Twice.
And after the game, Johnny said, if he'd have thrown me that ball again, there's no way I could have hit it.
Well,
but he threw him a
could have
fastball.
told you that. They figured he might be looking for it, and sometimes that's when you trick yourself as a pitcher and a catcher. You know, there's going to be some times where you got to continue to throw something until they prove they can hit it.
Swung on and
Well,
missed.
there's a changeup right there. Now, let's see if Danks gives in and throws him a fastball. He's going to come back. You see, he's 0-2. He can do anything he wants. He can go back with another changeup, or does he want to set it up and maybe move him off the plate with a cutter? But you don't throw him a fastball for a strike. You come back. I would come back another changeup.
He missed with his location, and it's a ball and 2 strikes with that changeup.
But that's okay. You're ahead in the count. You can do a couple of different things. You don't have to throw him a strike. It wasn't a good 0-2 pitch, but it wasn't something he could hit either. There's the cutter in.
Now 2-2 the count. And Johnny rifled that into the crowd. Leadoff man at first for the Indians here in the 4th. 2-2 to Peralta. Low, full count, able to lay off a pretty good-looking changeup. Let's see if that old axiom holds true. You throw it 2-2, you'll throw it 3-2.
No, he's coming in cutter.
Pitch number 60 coming up here for John Danks tonight. And the payoff pitch is hit toward right center field. It's in the gap. It gets down, cut off by Rios on the warning track. Brandon strolls into 3rd. And Johnny Peralta with the double. And for the 2nd inning in a row, the Indians have runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out.
Well, a pitch away that Johnny handles and stays on. He had a very good at bat. And guess what? He got a fastball away. And to this day, you keep throwing him that fastball, he'll find a way to get his hits. That ball was off the plate. It was probably 4 inches outside, and Johnny just slaps it the other way. We'll get his 11th double. And again, back-to-back innings. Here come the Indians. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out.
Mark Grudzelanek single to center his first time up. Ball in the dirt, and Przinsky does well to block that one.
Both the hitters on this inning were down in the count. Brandon was down 1-2, Peralta down 0-2. There's a little ball that just squeaks through the 5-hole.
Fights it off 1-1. Another good scoop by Pierzynski. Grudzalonic with Matt Laporta to follow here in the 4th inning. Danks with the 2-1 and a little topper towards third. That will trickle foul.
Gets out in front of that pitch. He was fooled on it, but he was able to top it. And that ball just rolls foul, so they'll reset it. Go back to a 2-2 count.
Danks deals. Taps it back to the mound for the 2nd straight time. That's what Trevor Crowe did in the 3rd inning when the Indians at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out.
Well, tomorrow is Sugardale Dollar Dog Night when the series will continue against the White Sox. 7:05 start. Save on tickets with a special super value pricing and also enjoy Dollar Dogs all night long. 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com for your tickets.
Matt Laporta struck out his first time up. Looks at a ball inside. Big chopper to third. This will get a run home. Tian throws out Laporta, who gets his 5th run batted in on the year. It's a 5-1 ball game as Brandon scores. Peralta had to hold at second. Lou Marson, the batter, singled his first time up. Too high, and the count evens at 1-1. Chicago White Sox came in here with a mark of 7-12 on the road this year. But it's the Indians who have a 7-12 home record, which is at the bottom of the American League.
Well, one reason the right-handers in this ballpark, they don't hit home runs. Peralta's got the only 2 home runs off a right-handed, bat in this ballpark, and that's hard to believe at your home park.
Marson with a 2-out RBI single into left field. Coming around third. Peralta will score, and it's a 5-2 ball game as Lou Marson delivers his 2nd hit of the night.
There you go.
Gives him his 2nd RBI on the year. I had to look at that for a second.
Well, you know what? He didn't even get a hit to drive in that first run this year. We topped a ground ball, but this one legitimate 2-out base hit. Going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. And that's a big RBI right there. Get him in there. Now you're three runs down. You can run on Pierre's arm all day long. It doesn't matter who you are. Peralta comes in to score.
Jason Donald drives one foul down the right side. Donald doubled off the fence and left his first time up. Off the bat, looked like it might have had a shot to get out of here, but hit off the built-in out-of-town scoreboard. Foul tipped into the glove of Przinski. 1-2 the count. Jason Donald. And I guess the comments that we made about Gordon Beckham earlier hold true for Donald, in that the results aren't there, but the approach looks pretty good. He's hit some balls hard. You hope that the results are there to follow, just from a confidence standpoint more than anything. Lou Marson knows the feeling. He had a lot of line drives early in the season that were caught. He went through a horrendous slump. He got caught leaning, but able to get back in time. But Marson has definitely swung the bat much better here in the last couple of weeks.
Well, he's not going anywhere, so just be careful. Make sure he doesn't pick you up. You're down 3.
For example, Marson, who was batting at .088 at one point, has hit at a .262 clip over his last 19 games. And that includes an 0 for 11 coming into tonight's action. Now the 2-2 to Jason Donald. Interesting in that coming in to tonight's game, the 5 through 9 hitters of opposing lineups against John Danks were batting a combined 155 against him. But it's the bottom part of the Indians order that's had the most success against him so far here tonight.
No, and the right-handers too. I mean, he's done well against right-handed hitters. And one left-hander has a hit, Brannon's single. The rest 5 hits off right-handed bats.
Those 5 through 9 hitters for the Indians tonight are 5 for 9. They've made Danks work for it here in the 4th. And with 2 down and the runner going, it's ball 4. So good at bat for Jason Donald, who's been on base safely both trips to the plate. And we'll go back to the studios for an in-game update before Trevor Crowe steps to the plate.
All right, man, let's go down to Cincinnati. They just left town. They're hosting Pittsburgh tonight, and the Pirates' Ronnie Cedeno gets the Buccos on the board. 2-run homer here in the 2nd inning, his 4th of the year. 2-1 now. Pirates lead the Reds. They're in the 4th inning. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Al. Here the Indians have 2 on, 2 out, and 2 already in. So it's a 5-2 ball game. And Trevor with a big swing comes up empty. He's 0 for 2. Lined out the second in the 1st inning. And then he hit one back to the mound in the 3rd with runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. That's the at-bat he'd love to try and get a do-over for. One delivery. And that's too low. 2 balls and a strike. So Danks, who was just cruising along here, running into some trouble here in the 4th inning. 2 hits to start the inning. Then he got 2 outs. Then a hit and a walk, and the pitch count piling up on him.
Well, that 2-out base hit by Lou Marson, it made him really start working. And then the walk to Donald. And, base hit, they're right back in it here. They can't lay off the right-handers. You can see why he's had success against righties this year. He has been able to throw that changeup, and You know, they've been going after it, swinging and missing. Out of the zone. That's a ball, not even close. You know, you get the count in your favor on a 2-1 pitch there, and you help them out.
Chops that foul past Steve Smith, the third base coach for the Indians. And a 35-pitch inning and counting, climbing for John Danks. Ozzie Guillen can't like what he's seeing here from his left-handed starter, but he's still got a 3-run lead at this point. And Trevor Crowe fights it off to stay alive. There you see for John Danks, inexplicably, he's just kind of lost it here in the 4th inning. And the 2-2 to Crowe. Again, he's just getting little pieces of these foul balls.
Well, it's changeups. I mean, they're out front. He's not giving in. And he's swinging at everything. He is. He's just getting a little piece to stay alive.
Again, he fires, and Crowe fights this one off as he almost took out third base coach Steve Smith again.
Smitty doesn't mind. He'll be ready for it. Here comes a cutter in. And that's off the plate. But, I mean, he's protecting. You got 2 strikes. Anything close, you've got to swing. He's doing just that. 8 pitches in this at-bat. 5 foul balls for Crowe. Look at that. That's a foot outside. And he's still able to get a piece. It doesn't matter where he's throwing it. He may just try and bounce one out in front of home plate. That may work. He's throwing them inside, outside, up, and down. He hasn't gone in the dirt yet. He did get the 2nd strike on a changeup down there. But Crowe is fouling everything off.
Here we go again. And he taps it back to the mound for his 2nd straight at bat, and the inning is over. But the Indians get back in it. They score 2. It's 5-2 Chicago after 4 innings.
And start a conversation and unlock your possibility. And by Panini's. Visit paninisgrill.com for a list of new locations.
back here at Progressive Field, 5-2 in favor of Chicago. Justin Masterson's night is over. If you'd ask him, he'd swore it was a full moon tonight because he just didn't have it. I mean, he had 3 wild pitches, did not strike a batter out, and that's unusual. This guy's been among the strikeout per 9 innings leader.
He didn't have it tonight, I'm sorry to say. He was all over the place, no command. 9 hits in his 4 innings. What do you have, a 40-pitch first inning? 44-pitch first inning.
1-1 the count here on Andrew Jones, who walked and scored on the first fly to center his last time up. Aaron Laffey delivers up high. 2-1 the count.
Well, this is where right now Laffey, very important that he puts zeros on the board. His last 3 times out, he's given up a run, and at crucial times. This year for Laffey, he's faced 18 first batters. 10 of them he has retired, so 8 have been able to reach.
Full count. Payoff pitch. Struck him out looking. Jones didn't like it. He had a brief word for Angel Hernandez before walking back to the dugout.
Well, you can spend your lunch break right here at the ballpark Wednesday for lunch in 3 innings. You get a ticket for the game. It's at $12.05 plus $10 in ticket plus food credit, all for just $15. Tickets are now on sale. Log on to Indians.com. Come up for 3 innings. It's going to be such a nice day. I guarantee you'll stay for 9. Noon game, Wednesday.
Mark Teahen is 2 for 2 tonight. Pops this one up on the infield.
There you go.
Shortstop Jason Donald says, I'll take it. He does. 2 down. Hey, let's take a look at our Miller Taste Greatness moment of the game. Omar Vizquel on his last at bat. He had just missed hitting a home run in the first inning. So this time he's going to try the gap. But Chu able to race over it and make the grab. Looked like he had to alter his route at the last moment.
He did. He thought it was going to be hit over his head, and it's a good thing he looked back to make an adjustment because he was able to make it and go to his left instead of continue to go, north-south.
Well, as you see him, well, of course, now Omar's batting right-handed, but he's really shallow now for Vizquel. Bounced in the hole, and Omar has a base hit. He's 1 for 3.
See that? You don't get the hit you think you're going to get, but you get a seeing eye base hit. So Omar now gets his first hit of the night and the 10th for the White Sox. This one finds a hole. I like it, though. Laffey came out there, got the first guy, next guy on 1 pitch, and you make him put it in play.
Omar Vizquel now has tied Louis Aparicio, 3rd all-time in base hits as a shortstop with 2,674.
And Aparicio, that's the number he has on his back.
Oh, that's right, here in Chicago.
Yeah, coming out of retirement. That number was retired in Chicago for Aparicio, and he said that Omar could take it off his back, so very good. Congratulations. Omar has always idolized him, another Venezuelan shortstop.
Well, that's one of the reasons why Omar asked for the number.
Right.
To pay tribute to Aparicio.
Absolutely, because Guillen has number 13 and wore number 13. It was a shortstop in his own right.
Ozzie wasn't giving it up for Omar. I'll tell you that much.
Ozzie doesn't give it up for anybody. That was his number and always has been when he was a White Sox. So, some guys, that's personal. He's been in the organization, and that's his number, so you keep it.
The 1-2 pitch lined out of play. Coincidentally, or not, you decide. Ozzie Smith won 13 Gold Gloves wearing the number 13. Omar Vizquel, 11 Gold Gloves, now wearing the number 11. So maybe that was the right number.
He's not going to win anymore because he's not playing, but he had 13 when he won his 11.
Omar won his last Gold Glove in 06.
With the Giants?
Mm-hmm. He won his 10th with the Indians. Or no, wait a minute. I'm trying to remember. His last year. No, he won his 10th and 11th with Chicago. Or with San Francisco, excuse me. Line to center. Crow makes the catch. Well, we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Aaron Laffey throws up a 0. It's 5-2 Chicago. Five-2, White Sox lead at bottom of the 5th inning here at Progressive Field. John Danks misses high. Ball 1 to Shin-Soo Choo, who was 0 for 2 tonight. Two balls, no strikes. Danks had a rough go of it in that 4th inning, but he was able to get the 3rd out with a couple of runners on base. Keep the Indians from doing any further damage. But all of a sudden, his pitch count running up there close to 100. And that White Sox bullpen will probably be heating up here in the very near future. A strike called, 3-1.
Really had a long inning in the 4th inning. They had an opportunity in the 3rd and just didn't take advantage of it. That's why I was thinking, when you have opportunities, there are guys like this on the hook, you have to take advantage of them. Yeah. Nice try, Juan. Came out of the seats, and he did catch it off the seats. Can't fool Joe West on there. Look at it. Comes right out of the seats into his glove. Watch him show Joe West. Hey, I got it. No, not going to work. Good try, though.
3-2 pitch, and it's banged foul past Sandy Alomar. Five runs, 10 hits, no errors for Chicago. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Cleveland. Inside out swing really jammed him. And Tien throws him out. 1 away. Let's get a look at our GMC 5-star league leaders, brought to you by the GMC Sierra. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. John Danks, when it comes to picking them off, he and Mark Burley, his teammate.
Couple of left-handers. You think they talk about their moves, checking guys out at first base?
Think Danks perhaps has learned a thing or two from Burley?
I bet he has. Absolutely right.
Burley's had one of the best moves in the game for years. In fact, you could probably make an argument that Mark Burley And Terry Mulholland probably had two of the best pickoff moves to first base. Although
well,
Andy Pettit's very good.
Yeah, but Pettit's a little higher up. You know, those other two guys don't kick as high. Those two guys are quicker to the plate. You can guess on Pettit, and you can still seal second base. But with Mulholland, he was so quick to the plate, you couldn't. He went 6 or 7 years without a stolen base off him.
And after a while,
and that was in the National League when you'd run.
Yeah, after a while, you just stopped trying.
Yeah. I mean, he came over here when Mulholland was here and taught CeCe just how to hold runners, period. Just to control the running game, not pick guys off. You don't have to pick them up. That's a bonus when you're left-handed because naturally guys break back to the bag anyway when they're left-handed because they just can't see anything in your delivery for the most part.
A one-out walk for Austin Kearns. Every time the Indians homer this year, we raise money for the Gathering Place. Great Clips donates $50 per homer. Rick and I chip in $5 per dinger. So far this year, $1,560 has been raised to help the Gathering Place, which helps individuals and families who are battling cancer. You can log on to touchedbycancer.org to learn more or to make a donation yourself. The Gathering Place operates from 2 facilities, one on the east side of town, one on the west side. And they offer all sorts of programs and services free of charge. And so many great volunteers help to make the Gathering Place just a wonderful, wonderful operation.
Well, Danks is leaking oil here. He's had about 35 pitches over his last 7 hitters. So he could be running on fumes. They've got an opportunity.
Brandon off the end of the bat to third. Tian had it weirdly hit the heel of his glove. It had that spin, and you could tell from the minute it got to him it was going to be tricky.
Well, off the end of the bat, when the left-hander hits it to the third baseman, it's got funny spin, but this one was off the end, and he didn't catch it cleanly, and the spin just took off. And that would have been it wouldn't have been a double play, but it certainly would have been an easy out at second. But that ball jumped up and caught him on the heel of the glove. So let's see if the Indians can take care of the error or take advantage of the error by Tian. The walk, here comes an error, and they've got a free inning going right here.
Johnny Peralta doubled and scored his last time up. Takes the first pitch strike. Is Danks now over 100 pitches on the evening. 105 to be exact. The Indians trying to claw their way back into it. High pop. Shallow left. Pierre coming in. He's there. 2 down. This game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Mark Kotze's RBI double made it 2-zip in the first, and they weren't done. Mark Tian also with a double, driving in a pair. 4-zip White Sox. Well, Lou Marson helped bring the Indians back as the Tribe scored 2 in the 4th inning. And that's a 5-2 ball game. Indians with 2 on and 2 out now here in the 5th. Mark Grudzielanek singled in the 2nd, tapped one back to the mound in the 4th. Danks is now fallen behind Grudzielanek 2-0. And now it's 3 balls, no strikes. Sergio Santos swarming in the bullpen. This is a very good-looking young pitcher. He's a rookie, and they feel like he has closer potential. Danks with a 3-0. Finds the strike zone. At the knees outside corner. Pitch number 111 has run the count full. So the 2 runners on base will be off on this 3-2 pitch. Kearns at second, Brandon at first. With 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th, Indians down 5-2. And a weak chopper to third. Tien has this one. Throws him out. Indians strand 2 more. Through 5, 5-2 Chicago. Juan Pierre will lead it off. He already has a couple of hits tonight. Scored a run. Aaron Laffey allowed a hit in the 5th inning. But that was it.
Well, he came in at a pretty quick inning right there, and his job just to put zeros on the board, and Laffey's capable of doing that. I'll tell you now, here's a guy, that could and has been a starter, and could be an effective starter. Now we got to look at Masterson, who started this ball game, and he hasn't been effective all year long. And I know they want to, try and make him a starter, but Laffey may be in better position to do this. Although you don't build yourself up, you come out of the bullpen, you'd have to build up arm strength and things like that. But
Rick, that's the one thing that I don't think anybody in the organization was going to come out early in the year and tell you, well, we're committed to giving him, or anybody for that matter, X number of starts. I don't know that they have a set number. At some point, though,
the reality's got to set in.
You've got to make a decision.
I would think so. Is this guy truly a starter when you're talking about Justin Masterson? And Laffey last year was doing a good job in the rotation, and then they says, well, you know what, we need help in the bullpen because it was so bad that he ended up going to the bullpen, then came back into the starting rotation. And then, it's going to be a tough call. I mean, they've got their work cut out for him, and to watch him, and we will see. But you can't watch. I mean, for me tonight, Justin Masterson really struggled through 4 innings.
But it hasn't, and this is not a knock on him, because I don't want to speak for you, but he's a tremendous pitcher. It's just a matter of where does he fit best. And right now, not just tonight, but he has not fared well as a starting pitcher.
No, he has not.
A.J. Pierzynski, obviously frustrated with the pop-up, dropped the bat at home plate, and that's out number 2.
Well, we want to fill a house for the Diversity Center of Northeast Ohio Wednesday to close out this series against the White Sox, close out this homestand. And every ticket sold, $1 will be donated to the charity. So great seats still available. 216-420-HITS. That'll be Wednesday. Diversity Center of Northeast Ohio.
Alex Rios scored a run in that first inning. He also has flied to center tonight and was intentionally walked his last time up. I don't remember his hands being as low as they are in this batting
I looked
stance.
at that the first time up, and they get below his waist. But when you watch it and it gets down into the hitting area, those hands go from down there to up at shoulder height, and you don't recognize it until you look at a replay.
High pop, center field routine play here for Trevor Crow. And the White Sox go 1, 2, 3 for the first time tonight. Sergio Santos for the 18th time this year. No wins or losses, but an ERA of 0.55. He's walked 7, punched out 20 in 16 in the third innings so far this year. John Danks, meanwhile, went 5 innings tonight. He made 112 pitches, but 64 of those came in the last 2 innings. Matt Laporta, Lou Marson, and Jason Donald for the Tribe here in the 6th inning. First pitch slider down low. The White Sox are really high on Sergio Santos, feeling that this guy could be their closer of the future.
Well, I mean, that's saying something because this guy was an infielder, and they just changed him not long ago and moved him into the pitching situation. And if they're already talking closer, that just goes to show you what kind of arm he has.
Ozzie Guillen saying of Sergio Santos that he hopes he learns from Bobby Jenks, because Jenks has that mentality that you want in a closer. Guillen said if Santos can add that, then this kid can be very nasty. Quote, he's confident and not afraid. 3-1 the count. And of course, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Chicago as the season evolves over the next, 2 months as we get toward the trading deadline. If Chicago doesn't have a remarkable turnaround, then they could be wheeling and dealing, unloading players as they build for the future.
Wow. Well, you're right, and I think a few teams can say that. When you pick up payroll and you feel like at spring training you have an opportunity, then all of a sudden, you're not there, and you feel you're going to fall out of it. You can unload some salary, but it's not like it used to be.
Check swing, bouncer to second, and that's one out here in the 6th inning. Well, there was a published report, Rick, recently that both the Phillies and the Milwaukee Brewers have been scouting both Bobby Jenks and J.J. Putz. And, again, as we get towards the trading deadline, I'm sure folks who watch this, they know how the rumor mill starts cranking up, and everybody and anybody name will be out there. But certainly when you look at Chicago, should they fall out of contention, and they're 7.5 games out starting today, I got to believe Kenny Williams will be active as we head toward the trading deadline.
No, you just have to wait until you get your opportunities and you play in those series against the Twins again, against the Tigers again, and see how you really hold. Because there's times where you can go into a series or you can have a bad month and not play very well, and the White Sox got off to a slow start, much like the Indians did. Their pitching was fine. They couldn't score. But you have a long time to turn it around. You just have to have the guys, and the guys have to be willing to do it.
2 quick outs here in the 6th. Browns punter Dave Zastudil and place kicker Phil Dawson will offer a comprehensive camp for punters and kickers who are looking to tune up their game. 7th graders and up can register now for the June 13th camp at Bay Village High School. Follow the link on STOHD.com for all the information. Jason Donald doubled his first time up, walked his last time up, and now he drops one inside the line. He's going to turn and go for second, head for a slide, and he's in there safely.
That's
good hustle double for Jason Donald.
You know what? That's good hustle. He didn't question himself. You're down a run, you got to make it. Jones is a guy who's a multi-gold glover. But it was in center field. But I'll tell you what, you force the guy to make a good throw. Hits it right off the end. And as a matter of fact, Konerko goes for it and hit a changeup. Wasn't going to get there, so he said, go. Now you're going to force him to make a good throw. Goes head first, just beats it. That's great hustle. See Omar tap him on the back? That was good hustle.
He's got something in his eye. He's been working for the last 30 seconds.
Dirt. It's probably the dirt. When he went head first, maybe some dirt popped up and got right in his eye. You'll have time to score a run and get some Visine in there before you go play defense.
He's 2 for 2, 2 doubles. Trevor Crowe 0 for 3 tonight.
You know, the great thing when you're a young kid, well, we'll get into it later.
Crowe 0 for 4 after that ground out. Indians strand a runner in scoring position through 6. It's 5-2 Chicago.
Find out more of what's possible at att.com. AT&T, rethink possible. By the Sierra from GMC. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's.
5-2. Chicago leads its 7th inning here at Progressive Field. Aaron Laffey has faced 7 hitters. He's retired 6 of the 7. Paul Konerko leading off the 7th inning, 0 for 3. All 3 times tonight that he's been up, he's hit the ball to Johnny Peralta.
Unfortunately, the last time they had the bases loaded, they walked him intentionally, and then the wild pitch came and a run scored, so they took the double play out of order.
Oh,
or else, or else he would have grounded into an inning-ending double play, and it would have been a 4-2 game.
They intentionally walked Rios to get the Konerko, and then correct. The wild pitch took the double play out of order. White Sox scored 4 in the first tonight off Justin Masterson, who never really recovered, although he only allowed 1 run over the next 3 innings. But he was working from a tough spot right out of the gate. He made 94 pitches tonight, 3 wild pitches, and 9 hits allowed in those 4 innings of work. Leadoff walk to Paul Konerko here. All right, time now for the answer to our AT&T trivia question. AT&T Rethink Possible. This was a good one tonight. 4 players, 10 or more Gold Gloves, 300 or more stolen bases. Is Omar Vizquel one of them?
Absolutely. So is Ozzie Smith. So is Robbie Alomar, I think. And Willie Mays. How about that?
There you go.
Pretty good. 10 plus Gold Gloves, 300 stolen bases.
I'm sure Redbird has the answer to this question right at the tip of his tongue. Fred Zelanik with a good stop. Takes the out at first. Konerko moves to second, 1 down. But I was thinking Barry Bonds had to be close in those categories.
He was close. Yeah, well, I don't think he had 10. No, he had 9 maybe 8 or 9.
8 Gold Gloves, Redbird tells me. Yeah.
10 is tough to get.
Yeah.
Brooks Robinson, 16. Jim Cott, 16. Gold Gloves. Maddox has a number of them, too, a closet full.
Mike Schmidt?
Yeah.
But not a lot of steals.
No. Homers.
Yeah, you got a lot of homers.
I was thinking Griffey, but not the steals.
Really? See, I would have thought he had 300 steals. Man, early in his career, he could
close. Run. I know it.
Andrew Jones 0 for 2. He's fly to center and struck out. White Sox looking for some insurance runs here in the 7th inning. A runner at second base. Jones jammed badly. Peralta takes his time, throws him out. 2 down. Let's send it back to the studios once again for this in-game update. Al has the latest from down in Tampa.
That's right, Matt. The only other American League game happening right now, and the Red Sox are in command. Kevin Youkilis, 2-run homer here in the 4th inning, but the Bo Sox up 6-0. The Rays have scored 1 since then. It's now 6-1, 5th inning in St. Petersburg. Back to you.
Thanks, Al. I mean, it's probably preposterous to say on May 24th it's a must-win situation for Boston, but starting tonight 8.5 games out, they could ill afford to go down there and get swept. Let's put it that way. Because Tampa, the way they're playing and the way they're pitching, they're not going to go on many extended losing streaks the rest of the way. You wouldn't think. So if you're Boston, you're already behind Toronto and New York, not to mention Tampa.
Yes. Well, that Eastern Division, yeah, I mean, you got to play those guys 18 times. You've got your work cut out for you, and it's tough to really you're forcing yourself to win every series that you're going to end up playing sooner or later.
We've seen the Yankees catch fire in the second half and play unbelievable baseball, but you don't get that feeling that Boston can go on a run like that this year.
Well, you never know. In that ballpark, they've been known. You never know. Right now, it doesn't look like it because, they've had their injuries and guys have been out and their pitching just hasn't been what they expected. And, hey, if they get healthy, they always play well at home. Anything could happen.
There was already, I wouldn't call it panic, but certainly the Yankee fans and the beat writers, people who cover the Yankees, already talking about the fact that they're 6 games out after losing 5 out of 7 games this past week.
There's always panic in New York and Boston. They could have a 5-game lead or 6-game lead, and they lose a series, and there's panic. It's a different animal.
Well, we will go there on our next road trip. 4 games in New York against the Yankees.
It's been well over a year since we've been there. We opened that season up last year to start the year. First game ever in the new Yankee Stadium. And, back then it was so new. Everybody giving their opinion of it, and they never knew what it was going to be like. So I'm looking forward to going back and seeing it, I think.
Let me know at the end of that 4-gamer how you feel.
I will. Well, we got a Friday night game. I think on Channel 3, and then we have 3-day games to follow that.
Yeah.
Over the Memorial weekend. So it should be a fun series.
Payoff pitch. Fouled off the mask of Marson.
This one sounded like it went off the helmet or the top of the mask. Right, straight, direct hit. Ouch.
Payoff pitch. And a bouncing ball up the middle. Oh, and he tried to knock it down, Grudzielanek, to keep it on the infield, and it skips past him, and the White Sox pick up a big insurance run with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. And it's now a 6-2 ball game as Konerko scampers all the way home from second.
3rd hit of the evening for Mark Teahan. And that's all you try to do. If you don't think you can make the play, you just try and knock it down and keep it on the infield. As Mark Grudzielanek does that, it just deflects off his glove. It looked like he tried to do one of those quick pop-up slides where he might be able to make a play at first. And that ball jumped up and went off the finger of his glove. Look at him. He knows. He's upset. He wanted to at least keep it on the infield to save a run.
Alexei Ramirez coming on to run for Mark Teahan. And Tim Belcher going to make a run out to talk with Aaron Laffey. Tribe bullpen is busy once again.
Just trying to get a little pat on the back. Say, hey, look, not your fault. You got your ground ball. It could have stayed on the infield. Tough break, but also that lets Ambrose get ready. And it wasn't. The leadoff walk comes around to score. Is what happened.
One on with 2 down here in the 7th inning. And Omar Vizquel, 1 for 3 is the batter. Two balls, no strikes. And now the count 3-0 with Gordon Beckham waiting on deck. bullseye. 3 balls and a strike. Bouncing ball to short. Donald's only play is at first, and he throws out Vizquel to end the inning. But the White Sox add a run. Stretch time here in Cleveland, 6-2 Chicago. To do is log on to paninisgrill.com. Sergio Santos with a scoreless inning of relief is out, and Matt Thornton is in.
Well, the guy you were talking about earlier, the big left-hander, fine reliever for the White Sox, 26 strikeouts in his 17 innings. So his arm needed a little rest, but this is one of the best left-handed relievers in the league, I think. And Ramirez stays in the ball game and goes to short. Vizquel will go from short to third base.
Remember early in the season when we played them? Well, we played them
every game
6 times a lot. Yeah,
right.
Early in the season, and we were half serious, half joking about the fact that if he keeps pitching at this rate,
won't be long.
You wonder if maybe the workload caught up to him, and that accounted for
that
some
early
of
the year,
some of that elbow soreness. But he said it was just a fluke thing. He said it was soreness just above his left elbow, and he said there was nothing wrong structurally. It was an aggravation, and we got it taken care of.
Well, and this is a guy too. You know, he's a great matchup guy, but can also get right-handers out. It doesn't matter. Not many guys can get hits off him. He's about 95. 96, high fastball. He does have a breaking ball or a changeup, but he doesn't mess around with it a whole lot.
Chu fouls it out of play.
There's the breaking ball. You get you looking at that 97, and all of a sudden locks you up.
One down here in the 7th. Austin Kearns 0 for 2. He walked in the 5th inning. He'll be the batter. This guy has been deadly when it comes to jumping on the first pitch.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if we have these stats, that the opposing teams have these stats.
Well, when he puts it in play, you mean his batting average? Yeah, it's outrageous.
688. Rolls that one to short, and there's out number 2.
Well, it's Budweiser 2 for Tuesday tomorrow when the series continues here. That ball game at 7:05. You get 2 bleacher tickets and $20 in tickets plus food credit for only $32. That's a $28 savings. Not too shabby. 2 bleacher tickets and $20 in ticket plus for $32.
Russell Brandon looks at that 97-mile-an-hour heat up around the letters. Two-0 pitch, Brandon taking, and it's in there. Tried to hold up, but he couldn't do it. And now Thornton, 1 strike away from setting the Tribe down in order here in the 7th inning. Got him. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. We'll go to the 8th. It's 6-2 Chicago.
The express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Six-two, White Sox on top. And as we go to the 8th inning, the Indians go back to the bullpen. And it will be left-hander Rafael Perez coming on after Aaron Laffey went 3 innings tonight, allowing 1 run on 2 hits. And that 1 run, you could say, was not necessarily his fault.
Well, it was because he walked the guy.
Yeah.
Right. He walked the leadoff man. But, all things being said, he did 3 innings, and he had a chance to get out of there without allowing a run. It'll bring Perez on now. He's going to face Beckham Pierre Perzinski.
Rafael Perez misses up high for ball 1.
And it's just been a nightmare for Perez this year. Left-hander's hitting .409. Right-hander's hitting .433. He has just not been able to.
Fair ball. Joe West wasn't sure at first. Almost looked like he started to signal foul and then turned his hand over to the fair territory. And that is out number 1. That ball was really hugging the line. That was not an easy call. Right over the bag.
It went over the bag.
Now watch that way.
Yeah. Right arm, but it's the other way. It wouldn't have mattered anyway because Beckham wouldn't have beat it out. He made the right call. It was a fair ball. It landed in foul territory, went over the base fair.
Juan Pierre, a couple of hits and a run scored tonight. Popped out of play. Again in the air, down the line, slicing, and that'll go into the seats. 1-2 the count. Missed up high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big bouncer to first. Brandon, the flip, and Perez just did beat Pierre to the bag, 2 down.
Well, Tribe fans, get gear and go cheer. If you spend $50 or more at any Indians team shop, the concession stand, or Indians.com, you'll receive a voucher good for 2 tickets to any Indians home game in May or June. So visit Indians.com for more details.
AJ Pierzynski had 2 hits in his first 2 trips to the plate tonight. Laid down a sacrifice bunt in the 4th inning that led to another run for Chicago. Fly to left back in the 6th when the White Sox went 1-2-3 for the only time tonight. Now the 1-1 pitch to AJ Pierzynski. And Perez with a 2-1. Out of play. Chicago began the night with a record of 18-25, and that was good enough for 3rd best in the AL Central. Detroit just a game in back of front-running Minnesota.
Yeah, that to me has been the surprise team in this division.
Yeah.
You know, because some of their younger players have really played well for them this year. Guys they've made moves on.
Well, the one thing we've talked about for years now is to win the division, you must win in the division, and that's what Minnesota has done. They're 15-8 within the Central Division so far this year. That's by far the best record.
That's why they continue to win the Central. They always play well within the division. Ouch.
Really jammed him. Fredzalonic throws him out. White Sox go in order for the 2nd time tonight. Bottom of the 8th. Coming up, 6-2, Chicago. 6-2. Chicago leads it. And we move now to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Progressive Field. And once again, Ozzie Guillen will go back to his bullpen. And it will be right-hander J.J. Putz coming on for the 15th time this year.
Well, another guy that they wanted to have an arm that has experience, you know, in case anything happened to closer Bobby Jenks, but J.J. Putz. Coming on now for the 15th time. He's 0-2 and a 3.95 ERA.
No balls, 2 strikes. You know, we were talking earlier about Jenks and Putz and potential trades and scouts who are already out looking for teams that want to add at the trading deadline. I was listening to radio coming in today, and Roy Oswalt, I guess, has already come out and said he would be willing to
waive his no-trade clause.
And immediately, you know, all the pundits jumped in and said, well, the Mets would be a great fit for Roy Oswalt. Imagine that rotation with, it's Pelfrey and Santana, and you stick him in there. And,
he'd fit anywhere. Well, it's got to fit. You don't trade a guy. You know, obviously they're going to try and replenish what they have because Houston's really struggling. You look at the Houston Astros, and they have 15 wins and 29 losses. You know, a young team. They're a team that's 9-18 at home. Sure, they'd love to replenish their farm system or get some young talent. When you give up a guy like Roy Oswalt.
Down low, ball and 2 strikes. And so it begins on May 24th.
It's amazing, isn't it? Trading deadline's not till what, July 31st?
Yeah, 2 months away. And I mean, you know, the other interesting too, the New York Mets are in last place in the NL East. Not that they're only 5 games out, but still. They're a game below 500 going into tonight. 2-2 pitch. And the count goes full to Johnny Peralta. Mark Grudzielanek on deck, and then Matt Laporta. Puts the payoff pitch. And Peralta smacks it to short. Alexi Ramirez with a long throw. 1 down. Now it'll be Mark Grudzielanek. 1 for 3 on the evening. You know, we were talking earlier, too, about where the White Sox are, and 7 games below 500. Now, it wasn't that they had high expectations coming into the season, but I mean, the bullets have been flying in Chicago really all season long. Goes back to spring training with Ozzie Guillen, starting with the Twitter account or the Twitter account, and General Manager Kenny Williams didn't like that idea to begin with. Ultimately, it ended up with Ozzie's son being let go from the organization. It's kind of been an ongoing soap opera with the White Sox. But to his credit, Ozzie Guillen saying that, hey, you know, I haven't done a good enough job either. So, you know, if you can talk about our pitching, you can talk about our offense, but he said every time I've made a move, it hasn't worked either. And he said, the one thing is that I've been in the city for a long time and I can take it. You know when you feel guilty and you don't want to leave your house because you're embarrassed? Not me. I wake up, I walk the dog, I eat breakfast in the same spot. I say hi to everyone on the way to the office. They don't say hi to me like they did back in '06, but they still say hi. And he said he's even heard criticism from his native Venezuela. He said, even people in Venezuela are kicking my tail. They can't wait for me to get fired. That's a shame. I thought I was an icon back there.
You might have been when you played. Only if you win.
What's the old saying? We're with you, win or tie? 0-2 the count on Laporta with 2 down here in the 8th.
You're only as good as your last win.
I always liked former kicker Matt Barr when he was with the Browns. He used to say, "You're only as good as your next kick." That was his philosophy.
Yeah, that's true. In his job, he would know.
Laporta got a piece. He's still in there. Boston hanging on to a 6-1 lead down in Tampa. Big game, big series for the Red Sox. Cincinnati trying to bounce back after their loss here to the Indians yesterday. They lead the Pirates down in Cincinnati 7-5. 0-2 pitch. J.J. Putz has thrown 14 pitches. 10 of them have been strikes. Putz, the former Michigan Wolverine. And Laporta, the former Gator, fouls it away. It's a Big Ten SEC challenge right here. And a count back to even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Matt Laporta. And Laporta pops it foul, playable for Pierzynski if he can get to it. And he does, hangs on, and the inning is over. So this White Sox bullpen locking it down here through 8. 6-2 Chicago. For Ambrose, mixed results. We have seen certainly flashes of brilliance, but we have also seen moments where he's learning at the big league level, and that's tough to do when you're a young pitcher.
It is. And, you know, the one time where he had an opportunity, I think it was against Tampa in a tie ball game, and Manny Active brought him in and says, hey, we can't bring the same guys in every night. I want to take a look and see what some of these guys can do. And, you know, he's going to have to test them every now and then to see what goes on. You know, you can't always just put him into the same situation. He's got good stuff.
Breaking ball swung on and missed.
You know, it takes young guys a little while longer to understand what's going on. The nuances of the game. I mean, that's how you get up here and you learn. You know, you were talking about this guy's hands where they start so low, but you know, we showed it earlier, and then I was watching, and I was amazed of it earlier this year. I've never seen them this low before. But watch when they get ready to that hitting zone. See, that time they only got a little below his shoulder. There's times where they'll get up a little higher. And you don't think he can catch up to a high pitch. He'll be a good low ball hitter with those hands, but if you get it about the belt, he can still catch up. He's young enough where he's got quick hands.
See so many different stances and hand positions.
But eventually, when good hitters, they'll get to that hitting area right before the pitch is there. Look at that. He got up and got that one, didn't he?
Hammered it high and gone. Just above the yellow line for a home run. Alex Rios, 9th of the year.
Maybe we can see how quick those hands were on a high fastball.
And it's 7-2 Chicago.
I mean, yeah, that'll show you right there. Boy, oh boy. We're just talking about his hand angle. And let's look at the first swing here. That's a high fastball. That's above the belt. Now you see where the hands come from? Watch. They'll get back up to the shoulder, and then boom, on top of it. His hands worked very well right there. Got on it, and that was a laser beam out of here. That didn't take but 3 seconds at the most to get out of here. So home run for Rios. That'll be his 9th. First home run in the ball game.
Is the reason, of course we don't know without talking to Rios, but would you guess the reason you have your hands low like that is to keep you from dropping them?
Well, could be. It could be. It's comfort, too, man. He starts down there, and then all of a sudden he knows he's got to get him up here to get him going. You know, if you start him up there, you can either drop him or you go too high. Yeah, there's one of two things.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how he feels comfortable doing it.
The goal for every hitter is to be in almost the exact same position when they get into the hitting zone. But how you get from point A to point B, there's a myriad of different ways to do it.
It doesn't matter how you get there. There's no one way to do it. That's why hitting is so difficult, and everybody has their own way of doing it or going about doing it.
Whether it's an open stance, closed
You can start open, you can start closed. It doesn't matter. Can you see the ball? You got to stay on the ball. You know, you got to get your hands through. You can talk about 1,000 different things. The bottom line is, where is the bat at the point of contact? And that ball that he hit right there, I guarantee, was out in front of home plate.
Good fastball to take care of Konerko for out number 1. Tonight at 11, join Chuck Galletti for our new roundtable show called Blowing Smoke. Chuck will be joined by Tony Zarella, Chuck Heaton, and Dennis Maniloff, and they'll discuss the latest in sports while blowing smoke at Cigar Smoke Shop in Rocky River. Blowing Smoke tonight at 11, right here on STO. Mark Kotze, so far tonight, doubled in a run in his first at-bat. Since then, he has grounded out 3 straight times. The 1-1 is foul tipped into the glove of Lou Marcy. Even in the few minutes that he's been into this ball game, we're seeing what I talked about initially. Flashes of brilliance, good fastball with life on it, throwing it by hitters, but also the learning curve. You make a mistake in location, and a guy like Rios yanks it out of here in a hurry. But Hector Ambrose, a Rule 5 pick. And so for the uninitiated, he's got to stay on the big league roster for the entire season. Otherwise, the Indians would have to offer him back to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Weak tapper hit to short. Jason Donald. Low throw nicely dug out by Russell Brandon. 2 down. Stick around for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show. Comes your way right after we wrap this game up here tonight. Rick and I will look back at the highlights and get you set up for Game 2 in this 3-game series, which comes your way tomorrow night when Mitch Talbot opposes Jake Peavy. That's a good pitching matchup tomorrow night. 7-2 White Sox. Andrew Jones 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. High drive, deep left center. Back goes Crow, leaps up, couldn't make the catch. He came close, but just couldn't bring it in. And Jones Cadillacs it into second base with a 2-out double.
Well, if he catches that ball, he would have had to been like Spider-Man and get up on that wall. That looked like it was well out of reach. Jones hit it a ton.
Take another look. I thought
that
he was close to
fastball
it.
Comes back over. See, Jones might have thought he had one there. Let's see if Trevor gets up. Maybe I lost it in the lights. Oh, you're right. It got right around that 10.
Yeah.
He did have a better beat on the ball than I saw. It was close. He put that foot up on the wall and tore a piece out of the Budweiser sign. Nice try. That goes for a double, though.
And a 2-out base runner for Alexi Ramirez. Good block by Marson. Fastball just below the knees. At the belt for a fastball called strike. And it's 2-1 now on Alexi Ramirez, who did not start this game. Mark Teahan started at third tonight for Chicago. Doubled in 2 runs in the first. He singled in the third. Popped up in the 5th and drove in a run with an infield single in the 7th inning. And then he came out of the game, and Alexi Ramirez came on to pinch run for him. And then Ramirez went into the game at shortstop. And Omar Vizquel, who had started at shortstop, slid over to third. But Ramirez, like a lot of these White Sox hitters, had been struggling. In his last 8 games before tonight, had 10 hits and 30 at-bats, and that raised his average from 214 up to 238. What's really bizarre with Ramirez is that he's hitting 283 on the road and only 207 at home. And I mean, U.S. Cellular Field is a pretty good hitter's park.
Yes, it is. And it gets better as the summer goes along.
But so many times these numbers, it's hard to make really any sense out of them. As far as why
well, I mean, you can
happens,
look into any
happens sometimes.
You can look into any numbers and doctor them and make them look any way you want to.
What is maybe a little bit concerning though is he's only hitting 208 against left-handed pitching this year, and for a right-handed hitter who
he normally wears it out. I mean,
370 against them last
right,
year.
that's what I'm saying. There's no rhyme or reason.
Takes a walk here, and 2 on, 2 out. And we'll see Omar Vizquel one more time. He's 1 for 4 with a single. Rips it just fouled on that first base side. Boy, that reminded me of the
Seattle triple. Let me guess.
I couldn't even get it out of my mouth and you were on it.
Well, that's the first thing that I thought of, too.
Yep.
August 5th. What
2001.
was it? 2001.
Right, or was it 2000?
I think it was 2001.
It was 01. I just remember Eddie Taubensee almost slam dunked Kenny Lofton accidentally on his head. And that was with the winning run when Holbert Cabrera got the
broken
base
bat,
hit and a broken bat hit to win the game. But it was Omar Vizquel with that triple down into the right field corner. Bases loaded, 3-run scored, and it was just what a crazy game. Who was it? It was Kaz Sasaki, right?
Matsusaki, yeah. That's who gave it up.
He was the closer as Vizquel bangs one through the right side for a base hit. Coming home is Jones. Throw to the plate, and they got him. Chu with a good throw. Marson with a great catch and tag. And they cut down Jones at the dish to end the inning. White Sox pick up another run, though, and we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. 7-2, Chicago.
People do not run. There will be a red light there. Look how shallow he is when you're playing it. I mean, he just fired his seed. And it was a little high for Chew. But Marson did a nice job of catching it and bringing it down to apply the tag. That was a great play by Marson. He's got the mask on, and it's tough to see it. But, you know, with that first base or with the catcher's mitt, he acted like it was a first baseman's glove.
Tell you, Angel Hernandez almost lost his balance. He got a little excited, too.
Well, it doesn't matter. He knew he was out.
Lou Marson, a couple of hits tonight and a run batted in. And the 1-1 pitch is right back to the mound. One down. Our player of the game tonight is Mark Teahan, who started this game for the White Sox at third base, as I mentioned earlier. 3 hits, 3 ribbies, including a double. He's got a 7-game hit streak and swinging the bat well right now for Chicago. Jason Donald having a good night for the Tribe offensively. He's 2 for 2, 2 doubles, and he has also walked. Looks at ball 1 down low from Bobby Jenks. Before Omar Vizquel so rudely interrupted our story last inning with that base hit to right field at end of the inning, we were talking about his triple in that great comeback win against Seattle. And the thing that I always remember about that game, with Vizquel playing such a pivotal role, was Kaz Sasaki, who was the Mariners closer, said afterwards he was in the bullpen and he had his tennis shoes on.
Right, he wasn't expecting
He was
to pitch.
ready to go home because everybody had pretty much assumed, well, this game's over. And when he got the call, he had to take his tennis shoes off, put his spikes back on, lace them up. And, you know, Rick, you can talk about this. Mentally, he had already checked out of the game.
Right.
And it's tough probably to get yourself
I would
ramped
think
up
so.
again.
Yeah. I mean, it was what they came back from 12 2 times.
Jason Donald draws a walk with 1 out here in the 9th inning. And that'll bring up Trevor Crowe, who's had a tough night, 0 for 4. Has not hit the ball out of the infield. A couple of comebackers to the mound and a couple of balls hit to second base. Crowe looks at ball 1 down low, and it evens the count. Another tapper hit to second. They'll get the out at first. And Donald goes to second base. Why wouldn't he just tagged him there?
Well, he felt he didn't have the time. Crowe would have beat it out because he's too fast, you know, so he could have ran back at him and tagged him, but he was still only going to get 1 out no matter what way he went. Watch this. See, he had to wait, and he wasn't there, and Crowe would have beat it out anyway. So he throws, and then you try for the double play, but it didn't work.
Two down, Shin-Soo Choo, 0 for 4, the batter. Choo has twice grounded out, twice struck out tonight. And a foul tip got a piece of the umpire as it went back to the screen. Tapper wide of the mark. And now Chu down on an 0-2 hole. Bouncer to short. Ramirez bobbles it, and the game stays alive. Donald to third. Chu safe at first on the error by Alexi Ramirez. And it will bring up Austin Kearns 0 for 3 tonight. They don't get much more routine than this.
No, they do not. You know, that ball, he just booted it. Plain and simple. Looking at that last out.
So Austin Kearns looks at a ball. Nope, a called strike from Angel Hernandez. And Kearns bangs one to first. Konerko with the flip to Jenks, who beats Kearns to the bag. And the White Sox win it by a final score tonight of 7-2. Chicago snaps a 5-game losing streak to the Indians with this win here tonight and improve their record on the year to 19-25. The Indians fall to 16-27 on the season. The winning pitcher tonight is John Danks. He is now 4-3 on the season. And the save goes to, well, no save tonight, never mind. Justin Masterson takes the loss for the Tribe as he drops to 0-5 on the year. Ozzie Guillen, though, made good use of his bullpen tonight, and man, did they do the job with 4 innings of shutout relief behind the 5-inning start of John Danks here this evening. Tonight's play of the game brought to you by KeyBank, banking home of your Cleveland Indians.
Well, you go back to that first inning, and Mark T going to plug the gap. And I'll tell you that the left-handers had that zone down in the first inning. So Tien doubled in a couple of runs. That made it 4-0. That's going to be our KeyBank key play of the game.
So Chicago takes the opener of this series, winning it by a final count of 7-2 as they rolled up 14 hits in the ballgame. We'll be back with a look at the highlights on the Conrads